Think you've seen it all? Here's a hard truth. While we're busy staring at the stars, the biggest mystery on Earth is right beneath our feet. The ocean, vast, unexplored, and full of secrets. It's easier to map the moon than the sea floor. That's not a metaphor. It's a scientific fact. Those picture-perfect beaches you scroll past? They hide something far deeper. Colossal monsters, underwater volcanoes, vortexes that behave like black holes, and even trash islands bigger than countries. And most of it, we've never even seen. If you make it to the end of this video, you won't just be entertained, you'll be transformed. Because once you realize what the ocean's hiding, you'll never look at Earth the same way again. Right now, scientists have officially cataloged around 220,000 marine species, but estimates suggest the real number could be over 2 million. Imagine reading just the table of contents of a 1,000-page book and thinking you know the whole story. That's where we are with ocean life. There are creatures out there that glow, regenerate, resist extreme pressure. Abilities that make our technology look primitive. Some of these organisms live in places so remote, it's taken decades to even glimpse them. Hydrothermal vents, midnight zones, underwater caves, places that challenge every expectation of what life needs to survive. Some thrive in boiling water, others in complete darkness where no sunlight has ever reached. Yet, they're part of an ecosystem that affects even the oxygen you're breathing right now. When we ignore the sea, we are not just turning our backs on curiosity, we're gambling with knowledge that could transform medicine, science, and even survival. These species aren't just fascinating, they are vital. And among the most important structures supporting marine life are not massive. They're tiny, colorful, and fragile. Coral reefs cover just 1% of the ocean floor, but support 25% of all known marine life. That's like a single city housing a quarter of the Earth's population. These reef structures aren't just beautiful. They're strategic hubs for fish, crustaceans, and countless microorganisms. They're breeding grounds, nurseries, and protective shelters all at once. But here's the problem. Corals are extremely sensitive to temperature changes and pollution. When stressed, they bleach, turning white and lifeless. And once they go, the domino effect hits hard. Fish lose shelter, predators leave the area, and entire food chains collapse. It's like pulling the foundation out of a skyscraper. The good news? Coral restoration is possible. Scientists are planting coral fragments and building artificial reefs that attract life back. But we're racing against time. If we don't act, these underwater cities could become ghost towns. And that would affect something even more critical than marine life. It would hit the planet's lungs. Forget what you learned in school. The Amazon is not the lungs of the Earth. Over 70% of our planet's oxygen comes from the ocean, produced by tiny marine algae. These microscopic organisms float near the surface, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen like invisible factories. They're doing the heavy lifting so we can breathe. But they're under threat. Rising ocean temperatures and pollution disrupt their delicate balance. Some species can't adapt fast enough and die off, reducing global oxygen production. Meanwhile, we keep adding plastic, oil, and sewage to the water, unknowingly suffocating our own planet. It's environmental self-sabotage on a massive scale. The solution? Simple steps. Reducing single-use plastics, supporting marine conservation programs, and even spreading awareness. These algae may be tiny, but they're giants when it comes to climate balance. And just like their unseen power, sometimes the sea hides more than just oxygen. It hides entire hues we don't usually associate with water. Not all oceans are blue. The Red Sea earned its name due to algae that bloom and tint the water with reddish hues. The Black Sea, on the other hand, is filled with dense layers of water that lack oxygen and contain hydrogen sulfide, giving it a dark, almost eerie appearance. Color isn't just aesthetic. It's chemical and biological storytelling. Water changes color based on its composition, depth, temperature and presence of life. Green waters often mean high concentrations of phytoplankton. Brown may signal sediment or pollution. These colors tell stories of life, of decay, of interference. And if we look closely enough, we can understand what's happening beneath the waves. But sometimes, what's floating on the surface is even more disturbing than what lies beneath. Because while we marvel at the beauty of turquoise beaches, there are islands out there that are anything but natural, and they were made entirely of our waste. In the heart of the Pacific Ocean float two monstrous garbage patches, each covering an area larger than the United States. No, they're not myth, they're real and growing. Made mostly of plastic, these floating dumps are held together by ocean currents and fueled by global consumerism. The so-called Great Pacific Garbage Patch isn't just an eyesore. It is a death trap. Turtles eat plastic bags thinking they're jellyfish. Seabirds die with stomachs full of bottle caps. Microplastics enter the food chain and end up on your plate. This isn't distant, it's personal. We created this mess, and now it's coming back to us. Cleaning it up requires international cooperation, innovation, and responsibility. But even if you don't live near the ocean, your daily choices contribute to this problem. And as if that weren't bad enough, this waste is also feeding dangerous microorganisms that can infect both animals and humans. Due to pollution, harmful bacteria like E. coli, Vibrio vulnificus, and others linked to hepatitis and parasitic infections are spreading rapidly in coastal waters. What looks like paradise could be hiding organisms that can cause serious illness. Or worse, these bacteria thrive in areas where untreated sewage flows directly into the sea or where urban runoff brings chemical waste. And it's not just humans at risk. Marine life absorbs and spreads these pathogens too. When contaminated fish are caught and consumed, those microscopic enemies come right back to us. It's a full-circle health hazard that starts with carelessness. Before diving into unknown waters, check local water quality reports. Apps and websites can help, but real change requires pressure on governments for better waste management. Because while we're being poisoned by our own negligence, the damage doesn't stop there. It's also wiping out some of the ocean's most vital species. Did you know bluefin tuna populations have dropped by over 75% in the last few decades? Overfishing, pollution, and habitat destruction are pushing many marine species to the brink. Sharks, dolphins, coral fish. Creatures that once thrived are now vanishing faster than we can document them. Industrial fishing is often the villain. Massive trawling nets sweep up everything in their path, not just the targeted species. Entire ecosystems are disrupted, food chains are broken, and the balance that took millions of years to form begins to unravel. This isn't just an ecological issue, it's a global crisis. The solution starts on your plate. Choosing sustainably sourced seafood, supporting marine protected areas, and spreading awareness can shift this trajectory. But to grasp the scale of what's happening, sometimes it helps to think in extreme comparisons, like how deep these problems truly go. The Mariana Trench is so deep that if you stacked 6,241 average height people, one on top of the other, you'd barely reach the bottom. That's not just deep, that's mind-bending. And yet, it's just one trench. There are hundreds more across the globe that we haven't even begun to study. Think about that. While we've managed to build skyscrapers and launch satellites, we've barely dipped our toes into Earth's own depths. We send astronauts into orbit, but we can't send humans safely to the ocean's floor without intense engineering. It's like living in a two-story house and never exploring the basement. And in that basement lives one of the ocean's most legendary creatures, the colossal squid, a beast that blurs the line between myth and reality. The colossal squid isn't a sailor's tale. It's real, and it's terrifying. Growing up to 43 feet long, with eyes larger than soccer balls and hooks on its tentacles, it's a true monster of the abyss. These creatures live so deep that light doesn't reach them. They navigate a world of eternal night and crushing pressure. For centuries, these squids were thought to be legends. It wasn't until the early 2000s that scientists confirmed their existence with actual footage and specimens. What's even scarier? We've likely only encountered the smaller ones. What else is hiding in the black void of the ocean? Creatures like this challenge everything we thought we knew about biology and evolution. But sometimes, it's not just the living that haunts the sea. It's the ocean itself, twisting and churning into whirlpools that act like underwater black holes. Yes, they exist. Oceanic vortexes, spinning masses of water so powerful they can trap anything that enters them. These phenomena, sometimes hundreds of kilometers wide, have been spotted from satellites and studied by oceanographers who call them oceanic black holes. Not because they're truly bottomless, but because of their strength and unpredictability. They can redirect entire currents, swallow ships, and suck in debris for weeks, even months. Some are warm core eddies that carry heat across ocean basins. Others are cold core, drawing nutrients from the depths. These forces aren't always destructive. They were also essential for regulating Earth's climate and ecosystem. But to the untrained eye, they're pure chaos. Water behaving in ways that seem to defy physics. The more we learn about them, the clearer it becomes. The ocean isn't just mysterious, it's otherworldly. And it's time we started paying attention to its secrets, before it's too late. So, now that you know all this, what are you going to do with it? Keep pretending the ocean is just for vacations? Or start looking deeper, asking more questions, challenging what you thought you knew? Let me know in the comments. Which part shocked you the most? What fact blew your mind? I want to hear your thoughts, your theories, and your curiosity. This isn't just a video, it's the start of a conversation. And hey, if this opened your eyes, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell. There's another jaw-dropping video on your screen right now. Click on it and keep diving into the unknown. I'll see you there.